Ahoj, this is Zenka. The Pro Camera app by Moment has new look and new features. And these are new Moment T-Series lenses. To make things clear, this app is only available for Apple phones. This is in-depth tutorial. We will do a complete walk through the Pro Camera app, and we will also test all these lenses. Many visual examples will be included. Quick disclaimer, I'm not being paid by Moment. In fact, they sent me these lenses to test without any commitment. And since I know that there are many of you using these lenses, I decided to create this tutorial because I would like to test it all myself. Timestamps are enabled so you can find everything easier. It's time to open up Pro Camera app, and let's start with the basic interface in video mode. I'm going to turn the phone into a vertical view so I can show you these icons better. First is flash. You can enable automatic flash, continuous, or turn it off. Next icon is different color profiles. Default is Rec 709. Next is HDR Rec 2020. Wide P3 is next. That one will give you more saturated red and green colors. There is also a flat profile and log profile. Next is resolution 720p, 1080p, and 4K. The last icon is for frame rates. If you select 4K, you can film in 24, 30, 48, and 60 frames per second. If you lower resolution to 1080p, you will also have more options: 24, 30, 48, 60, 120, and 240 frames per second. Below is your sound, where you can monitor the audio. If you swipe up, you get access to monitoring the audio, where you can adjust the volume. LUTs have been added as well. If you go to the User tab, you can upload your own LUTs here. You can also do that with simply tapping on this icon on the right. You can try their examples, you can create a folder, and organize your upload LUTs here. You can add some to your favorite folder. These two little icons are very helpful. It can show you all LUTs here, or you can select matching video input to find the ones that will work faster. The other icon is to delete or rename folders, and this will take you to the Files folder where you can organize it all. Let's move lower to the next icon. Here is where you can find all Moment lenses, M series and T series. We will test them all later on in this video. Icon for switching between front and rear camera is here, and the last one is for switching between ultra-wide, main, and 3x telephoto camera. Histogram is here. When you swipe, you can switch between those two. Let's continue with the shutter speed icon. ISO control is here. Then we have exposure value, focus. You can focus manually, either drag or use plus and minus signs. To go back to out of focus, simply tap anywhere on the screen. White balance control is the last one. Set a custom white balance, tap one time to focus, and you can even lock the focus. If you want to go back to automatic white balance, just double tap on the screen. What do we have next to the shutter button? Shooting modes are first. Let's leave video mode and see what is in the photo mode. Histogram has moved here at the top. Besides flash, you can enable timer. The choices are 3 and 10 seconds, and you can select photo format. The choices are TIFF, HEIF, which is the basic compressed file, standard RAW, and iPhone's Pro RAW. For those wondering what is the difference between RAW and Pro RAW, this is what Apple says. Pro RAW gives you greater creative control when editing photos. Apple Pro RAW combines the information of a standard RAW format along with the iPhone image processing, which give you more flexibility when editing the exposure, color, and white balance in your photo. Let's leave photo mode. Video mode was already explained. Next up is slow shutter. Here is where you can take beautiful landscape images of waterfalls with soft water or night photos with light trails. I'm going to show you some photos I took in the past. Now, full disclosure, I took those photos with a different app. These are just to show you what I am talking about. I took those at Niagara Falls. To create similar photos like these, all you have to do is choose motion blur or light trails, select desired time. You have the bulb option here and take a shot. You might want to also enable timer or use an Apple Watch to take a shot, as you don't want to touch the screen and shake the image. This would be a whole different tutorial about this type of photography. Let me know in the comment section below if you're interested. If I see that there is enough of interest, I'll make that happen. Time-lapse mode is next. Here you can choose photo format. The choices are TIFF, HEIF, and ProRAW format. Next to it is where you can choose the final time-lapse resolution. The choices are 720p, 1080p, 4K, and max resolution. Below is where you can select the interval. Faster interval is for faster moving scenes, and lower interval is for slow scenes, such as sunrise, for example. Let's say I select 2.0 second interval. I'm going to swipe now to select a number of frames. If I do 150 frames, I can see below that it will be capturing for 5 minutes in total, and the final time lapse will be 5 seconds long. Below is where you can choose the effect if you want motion blur or light trails. You can also select duration here. Now I'm going to go back to video. Next to the shooting modes is the presets icon. Once you hit that, you will see that there are already 4 presets created by default: cinematic video, hyperlapse, slow-mo, and bulb light trails. Let's tap the cinematic video view icon. Here you can see all settings that you can change further. At the bottom is where you can also create a new preset. So now when I hit cinematic video, all settings will be applied, and now I can start filming. Let's close presets and hit the settings section. Help and support is at the top. Next are general settings. Geotagging is on by default. Location accuracy is set to low. You can also change it to high. Add series shortcut is next. Once you click that, you can enable open preset, start shooting, and trigger the shutter. Let's hit start shooting. You can stay with "Hey Siri, start shooting," or you can change the voice phrase to something different. Then you can just hit done, or you can also remove the shortcut. If you use DJI Osmo Mobile Gimbal, here is where you can tweak Osmo settings. If you don't like the default Moment app icon, you can change it here to any of these. You can also change the app theme. Another section is viewfinder settings. Here you can enable grid. The choices are square, thirds, and golden ratio. You can disable grid level haptics, volume button shutter, change or disable volume button burst, and disable prevent accidental exits. Exposure and focus settings are next. Here you can enable or disable focus peaking. You can change the color as well, histogram, highlight clipping, shadow clipping, and bracketing. Let's go to photo settings. Here you can change file names from default to date if you prefer. Select standard image format. HEIF is by default, but if you prefer the JPEG that is most compatible, you can switch it here. Photo quality has 3 options: speed, balanced, and quality. I personally prefer quality. You can enable prioritize faster shooting, and as they say here, once you enable this, it will adjust image quality when the shutter button is pressed rapidly. Mirror front camera can be enabled, and prefer 48 megapixels size photos. Let's go to video settings. If you need to film in Apple ProRes, here is where you can enable it and choose preferred video codec. If you don't have that enabled, you will get HEVC and H.264 codec options instead. You can enable or disable stabilization. Next, you can change NTSC frame rate to PAL. Choose bitrate. There are 3 options: standard, medium, and high. By default, RGB histogram and waveform are enabled. You can disable them here if you prefer. Audio settings lets you disable audio levels if you don't want them to be displayed. You can also change sample rate, change bit depth, change audio channels from stereo to mono, Choose which microphone you prefer. You can choose bottom, front, or back. You can also use a Bluetooth microphone with this app. If you don't want anamorphic files to be discreased, you can turn it off. Please note that the preview will be always discreased. Under Gallery Settings, you can enable Display HDR Images. And further down are just more about the Moment brand. At the bottom, you can see the app version and clear cache files. All right, let's look at the Moment lenses. The first one here is the 18mm wide-angle lens. This is how it looks like once you attach it to the phone, and here is in the app where you can enable this lens. I went ahead and took a whole bunch of photos. First of all, here is just a regular standard lens with no wide-angle lens attached. Next is an ultra-wide-angle lens photo. And here is a photo with this 18mm wide-angle lens. It is somewhere between. Here are some more examples. The lens is fairly light and I like the results coming out of this lens. It's great for vlogging and general photography. Let's check out the 58mm telephoto lens. It's a bit heavier lens. You can mount this one over the standard main camera and also 3x telephoto, so you can get even more zoom. Let's enable this lens in the app and take some sample photos. One thing I noticed though, that here and there in certain light conditions, I get this red glare in the corners. It slightly shows in the video as well. I looked for the information online and from what I read, both series, M series and T series, have that happening on their telephoto lens. Okay, moving on. 1.55x anamorphic lenses next with the blue flare. Now this lens is tiny and very light. That makes it very suitable for smaller gimbals. Let's enable the lens in the app and record a few sample clips. I've used the M series anamorphic lens before, so I'm quite familiar with this look. Let me know in the comment section below what you think. How do you like the quality? I'm planning on making a big comparison video of several brands when it comes to smartphone lenses that I have here in the studio, so don't forget to subscribe if you're not already. When it comes to Fisheye Lens, you either like the look or you hate the look. It's mostly used for sports photography, so you can get to the object as close as possible. For example, skateboarding. You can focus on a skateboard and still get the shot of the person. Okay, let's enable this lens in the app and take some sample photos. It is still a very small lens. There is some weight to it, but overall, it is very light compared to the other brands. Let's look at the macro lens, very small and very light. Once you mount it on the iPhone, it is small. Let's place the diffuser over, enable it in the app and take some photos. Right now we are in a spring, which is perfect for this type of photography. It's a very specific lens for those who love macro photography. All these lenses need to be stored somewhere. Moment sent this lens back. It is small, but you can certainly fit lots there. And also this fanny pack. You can really pack it up. It's got a lot of compartments. Well, that was a long video today. I'm gonna link all of the items below the video in a video description for those interested. I'm also going to link my smartphone filmmaking course, which is now part of ZD Creator Academy. This is for those who are brand new to smartphone video and need to learn everything from scratch. The course is within a private community. You get direct access to working with me. Link is below, check it out. And here I placed some videos that might be interested for you. See you there. Ciao. Ahoj.